It's Don here from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. So, I did a previous video on using the 3018 Pro CNC. That was part 2 where I milled out some 1U switch testers, which is one of these little things out of just some 7mm pine timber. And I put up a poll afterwards using the Facebook community feature, and I said, do you guys want to see more stuff about CNC? And 97% of the votes actually said yes. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned it in that, but what happened was, from when I did that video, afterwards I was talking to people about trying to mill something a little bit bigger, and I was having all sorts of issues. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch down to the desktop, and what was happening was that I was trying to mill a case for my Basic Media Pad PCB, which is, there's videos on that on the channel if you want to check it out. And the intent was that I'd mill it out of the 7mm and it would sit inside like so. At least, you know, if everything went according to plan. But every time that I tried to cut it, things just would not turn out right. It was peeling the wood, it wasn't cutting it, and I was having mounting problems and things like that, keeping the workpiece in place. So talking to some very experienced people, they told me I was using the wrong kind of cutting bit because I was using a milling bit, not a reaming bit. The difference is that the milling bit is kind of like just a big fat file. It's got lots of rough edges and it's designed to break up brittle material, not fibrous material like timber. So they gave me some advice and said look for a Reamer. 1 or a 2 flute would be perfectly fine in the sizes that you want to work at, and that's exactly what I did. Now, this is not a sponsored post. I went and spent my own money. I dug around and I found these. Now, you know, I use Banggood a lot. They're very cheap. Quality is dubious, as you may have seen from a lot of the videos that I've done, but I was really excited because I was like, you know what, I've got some credit sitting there and they have these. So I went and bought some 1.5mm and tiny little thin things, and I bought a 3mm as well because they're kind of the sizes that I was using previously with my milling bits, not reaming bits. Now, the thing was, this shows me that they come in a nice container, and I do want to express a bit of disappointment because this is what the 3mm came in. Okay, so it came in a plastic container which was just like the pictures, nice and protected, and I was like, fantastic. But then I was rummaging around the packaging and this is what the 1.5mm came in. Now, I bought 2 of them because, you know, there's a greater likelihood of snapping a 1.5 because they're much smaller, much thinner. But they came worse packed. They didn't come in a protective case. There was no bubble wrap. There was no other protection. It was just these 3 things inside a plastic shipping bag. Very disappointed. Now, I am very thankful that they didn't get damaged, so that's always really nice. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be running the 3mm bit, and I'm going to try and cut out this pattern on the 3018, the 3018 Pro. Now I've got it set up next to me here on some chairs, and I will try and set up a webcam and then, you know, do it as a time lapse and record how that goes. Fingers crossed it's going to work. If not, well, we'll see and talk about the disaster afterwards. Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. So please bear with me on that, and hopefully you will see a time lapse following this very shortly. Now, I'm going to be using GRBL, and I do want to mention that my GRBL control is this, and I've got the pattern there, and you can see what I've got sort of going and how it's going to make that spiral cut and move between the layers to actually, you know, produce the end result. My axes are a bit funny because for whatever reason I tried to flip the movement of the of the Y plane, and I couldn't get it to stick. So I actually had to go back into Easel and flip my piece, mirror it, so that it would actually cut correctly. I managed to do it on the previous version of 3018, but I don't know why when I tried the same command to set it into the actual unit, it didn't want to behave. But anyway, there is a fix around it, but it's a bit of a kludge rather than actually fixing it proper. So we'll see how it goes, and hopefully we'll see you on the other side of the time lapse, wherever I find the stop button. Okay, so we are back. Now, I don't know how long that time lapse is going to be because I'm just going to have to see how that pans out when I bosh it into DaVinci Resolve and shorten it down. But the real time running for that was 3 hours. It was about 3 hours 5 minutes. GRBL had actually predicted 2 hours 52 minutes, so it ran about 10 minutes overtime. Now, I pried it off, and what I did find was that it didn't make it all the way through. If you were watching really carefully at the start of that, you would have actually seen that there was a number of passes that it actually didn't really start doing anything, and then it started milling on the top side but not on the bottom, and then later on when it was trying to hollow out the middle here in this area cut, it started doing nothing for a couple of passes before it actually went in. So the two things with that is I made the mistake of not checking that my waste layer underneath this was actually completely level. It was the same piece of, dressed all round pine that this came from, but it wasn't flat. It was actually curved. And so that was the first problem with it. The second problem with it was the fact that I hadn't zeroed close enough to the surface of this piece of timber. So when you zero the actual CNC itself, you put a piece of paper and you slide it back and forth, and I did that, but I probably could have gone, another step or two lower, which would have given me just that little bit extra depth in terms of cutting through. Now you'll see that it did make it through where it should have been, up along the top side here, and it is meant to have these little connecting tabs so that the centerpiece, once it's cut through from the outer, doesn't just go flying everywhere, but they're quick detach tabs. This bit on the left hand side is very thin, whereas the middle is where that tab is meant to be. And while I'm not going to go and turn on any lights to shine through it, you can kind of see that it is actually a little bit sort of translucent underneath there. It's just that wafer thin. It's starting to sort of show up there, and if I do hold it up to the light, which I can do from my angle, you can see the light passing through, but it's not super fine. And that's okay, because using my chisel, I should be able to liberate it carefully and try not to hurt myself. in the process, maybe, or maybe not. What I am doing though is I'm incidentally denting the bottom of this, but that's okay. It's you know, wouldn't really call it a test piece, but so I can just snap that one off on the side there, and that's just come. That's how thin that tab is meant to be. But of course, the bottom is not cooperating as easily. But if I pop out this corner, there we go. And then now I can wiggle that, and now we've freed it. So you can kind of see, just by not having the zeroing and the thickness not getting quite right because of the tilt, the flex of the actual waste board underneath, it has made a difference on how much depth it was actually cutting around. So yeah, I'll be able to clean that up later using the chisel and some hand files. Not too fussed about that. Internally it looks really great, and you do get the tooling marks. You can see the tooling marks there, but I suppose the accuracy is really in the test fit. Now I'm just waiting for this to try and come back into focus. Alright, so here is the Basic Media Pad. I designed it, and it does have an unusual shape. It's got some round corners and things like that. So using the 3mm bit, I was fairly confident that the radius should be okay for this, and I took the external cut edge from the PCB file and exported it, and that's what made the file internal cutout here. So if it works and it has the precision, this should fit in very snug, right? And you would have seen that I was kind of trying to test that earlier, and it's so snug that I'm kind of afraid of pushing it in, because if I push it in, I'm gonna, I should be able to hook it out. Alright, that is super snug. Like, that is fitting in, just fitting in. Like, if I push it all the way down, it will go in. Now, of course, hopefully, I should be able to pry it out. Maybe. There we go. So you can see how tight that was to just get in and out. So the accuracy that it's actually cutting is pretty good. The only thing that I'm not very happy with, I think that's part of it, is that up here it's kind of just gone and bulged a little bit. I don't know if that's because the piece was moving, or it just did a tiny little bit of a Mickey Mouse there, which, you know, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, it's there, and I guess I'll just have to deal with it, but it would have been nice maybe if it wasn't there. Maybe that's also contributing to how tight that is. The corners are a little bit, on that inner radius, is also a little bit rough. You can sort of see the stepping there. The movement isn't, I don't know if it's going to focus very well, it's very bright. Just that internal, there's a couple of that frayed edge. So the reaming bit was actually sort of peeling it rather than cutting it, but it's probably because it was moving along the grain and the fiber in some way that was doing it. The rest of it, it was, you know, shaving little chunks off. And I just want to show you how much powder actually came out of that. That's like actual loose powder, whereas previously when I was cutting on this with the actual milling bit, it wasn't making powder, it was actually strips. So, you know, thank you very much to the chaps, the folk over at Billy Rubin's Discord, for helping me out, because giving me the advice on going to this was awesome. So overall, I'm very happy with how this performed. I think, if I was better at programming the CNC, because I'm only just using Easel at the moment, I haven't really figured out how to do more complicated things. I could go with a bigger bit, and that would have made the center clearing operation a lot faster, but that requires stopping it, changing it, and then starting again and making sure that nothing else has changed and moved, so that you're going to be in the right position. But I like it. I think it works really well, and yeah, 3 hours to make one of these though is definitely not cost effective. So if you want to do it from a home business perspective, it's not a good idea. Whereas if you're just tinkering, if you're prototyping and things like that like I am, then I think this works really, really well. And unfortunately, me snapping off that bit there has also ripped a chunk out of the back there, so that's a bit unfortunate. But I'll definitely learn for the next time that I need to cut much deeper all the way through, so that it takes away from the fact that there is going to be potentially imperfections in the waste bed that causes this kind of issue. Right, so I guess the next time that you'll see this is probably going to be with this, and I'll build it, put it together, and then I'll actually have a Basic Media Pad running with a homemade CNC'd case bottom or something. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Please, of course, let me know what you think in the comments below, and yeah, we'll see what we do next with this 3018 Pro CNC. So hit that like button if you like it, hit that subscribe button and bell notifications if you want to be kept up to date with any of the new stuff that happens on this channel. And of course, as usual, until next time, happy clacking.